Would you just walk through how to train in a global sense and get as specific as you want from there, female bodybuilders? And because I know the sport has changed, and I got to tell you, Bret, the sport has changed because of your work, and you've had huge success in the last couple of years. I did you just some you just came back from a big event where I believe that most of the athletes were yours, right?
No, most of my girls win their pro cards like very quickly. That's what kind of what I'm known for in the WBFF. But there's the NPC, IFBB. That's
Okay.
much more popular. WBF I like because you don't have to. It's more of a beauty pageant, but also they put a little more emphasis on the posing, the stage presence, the face, the beauty, but also the physique. But you don't have to be so ripped, and that's what I hate when. I hate when so there's within female physique training, there's the bodybuilding category. Those are the most jacked women. Yeah. Then there's who make you and I look like a joke, you know. Then there's wellness, there's figure, there's fitness, there's bikini. Bikini has become so popular. So I think you're kind of referring to bikini training.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up for me.
Here's what I will say. I've got these coaches. These girls will come to me, and it makes me mad because I feel like these coaches are like these coaches do good training themselves. Then they train these bikini competitors, and you'll look at their workouts, and they're like 20 jump squats superset with 20 side kicks. Like, what's a side kick? Is it like literally you just stand on one leg and kick to the side? Is that supposed to work your glute medius or something? I don't even know what that is.
But you get tired, so that has to be good.
You get tired, and they're not building any muscle. Why would you not? So I am very proud. I came up with strong lifting. I don't have enough time and energy to get it popular around the world. I need help, but I do think strong lifting has potential to become huge because what strong lifting is powerlifting plus 3 more exercises. I always loved squats, bench, and deadlifts, but I also love weighted chin-ups, military press, and hip thrusts. And I think if you train for strong lifting, my girls who were powerlifters, when they started training for chin-ups, they did chin-ups. They did them. When you make it a part of the contest, you get really strong. I've got, you know, it's funny. I remember watching Mike Boyle's hockey players. She got 45 for 3, I think, or something like that. 45 pounds for 5. At that point, I was like, what? I train women. I didn't know they could get that strong. That raised the bar for me. And I think with hip thrusts, I raised the bar for people. Just like with Ben Bruno, he raised the bar with single leg stuff. People were going, I didn't know you could get that strong with single leg stuff. It takes you to see something. But now I've got girls like my client, Ashley Hodge. She can do 45 pounds for 5 reps. She's done 75 pounds for 1 rep, chin up at 131 pounds body weight. But their backs are just crazy. Their lats. And these girls have, and they say that the bikini, the federations will say, well, we don't care about back. But then why do my girls, when you're standing next to someone who has an oyster looking back, no muscle tone at all, and someone who's been doing chin-ups and rows and deadlifts and has a more muscular back, that person's going to stand out. So I train their full body with an emphasis on glutes. It's kind of like a permanent glute specialization routine. However, say I do 3 full body workouts a week. I'm really excited to explain this, my system. I'll explain how I do Booty by Bret, for example, because I think it's genius, whatever. I just haven't had a chance to talk about it to the sports science community because I think there's application to this, and I don't even know exactly how to describe the method of periodization that I do, but like how it would be exactly categorized, because I've studied periodization my whole life and still feel like I don't understand it. But I never liked linear that much. But basically, whenever you read about periodization, all people, they're like, yo, well, you can periodize anything. But all people end up periodizing is, you know, basically volume and effort. They call it intensity. Volume and intensity, you know, they go like this. You know, you start off high volume, low intensity, right, and end up with high intensity, low volume. That no one talks about rotating exercises. So I have a rotational focus. So the reason why I thought of this is, Dan, I was like, anytime you want to set a chin-up PR, you can do it. But guess what you have to do? Start doing chin-ups 3 times a week first in the workout. All right. If I can't set a chin-up PR doing them once a week, last in the workout or even in the middle. I have to make that my focus. Well, it's easy to
Exactly.
maintain your strength. I've had times where, I focused on hip thrusts and I only did like single leg work, and I tested my squat. And as long as I was doing single leg work or maybe even just squatting once a week for higher reps, I maintained my squat strength. My deadlift strength maintains from, I mean, Louis said this, everything you do builds the deadlift. When I'm hitting lunges hard and squats and stiff legs and Nordics and hip thrusts, those all contribute. As long as my grip stays strong, I can pull very close to my 1 rep max. So it's easy to maintain, and the research says that too. It's easy to maintain strength, it's hard to build it. So what I did was I have a 5-month rotating focus for Booty by Bret. And it's funny because it sounds like Booty by Bret, this silly program, but it's really a badass full body strength training system with an emphasis on glutes. So what we do is month 1 is a well-rounded program. You're gonna squat and bench on Monday. You're gonna hip thrust and chin up on Wednesday. You're gonna deadlift and military press on Friday, but you do 6 or 7 exercises. You end up training squats a couple times, or at least squat patterns. Maybe it's a single leg. You're gonna do hinging patterns. You're gonna throw in some abs, but you always do 1 upper body pull and 1 upper body push. What I did differently with that is, I think it was Ian King who first started saying, way back in the late 90s, early 2000s, he started saying each workout should have a vertical press, a vertical pull, a horizontal press, and a horizontal pull. I only say just 1 upper body press, 1 upper body pull. I don't make them do 4, I make them do 2, 1
Yeah.
from each
Agree.
category.
I agree with that.
But then I do basically each day has a squat or single leg squatting movement, a hinging movement or something for the hamstrings, maybe it's a Nordic, and then also a thrust or bridge type movement. And then we sprinkle in some abduction, upper body and lower body abduction, shoulder, lateral raises, and maybe some type of band or cable abduction work. Okay, but month 1 is well-rounded. There's no focus. People love that month because they get to train all their favorite movements in equal proportion. But then month 2, it's time to specialize. We focus on the squat and the bench press. And those you can hit 3 times a week each, first in the workout. You can squat 3 times a week for a month. But then at the end of the month, now your knees are sore. You hit squats hard 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and your knees are sore, your hips, your low back's a little bit beat up. So this is a perfect time now. The next month focuses on hip thrusts and chin-ups. You're still going to do your pressing, your squats, just later in the workout, not for PRs. Now we're trying to focus on getting a hip thrust and chin-up PR, and everything else is on maintenance mode. And then now you're feeling good. Now the next month is the deadlift and the military press month. And you're trying to get, now we don't deadlift 3 times. You can hip thrust and chin up 3 times a week, but deadlifts, I don't think you can deadlift 3 times a week. You deadlift heavy 1 day a week. You do a stiff leg or an RDL 1 day a week, lighter with good form. And then you do lifts that transfer the deadlift, like the dumbbell 45 degree hyper, or, even like a reverse lunge, things like that help build different ranges of the deadlift. You might throw in something that works your grip hard, like a 1-arm row or something. And then, but the goal is to get a PR on those lifts. And then the next month, now you're beat up from the deadlifts. Deadlifts just beat you up all over.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's the perfect time to have a single leg dumbbell month. And this is such a crucial month, because a single leg month, people are so scared that if they don't squat or deadlift, they're going to lose all their strength. The research shows that you build just as much strength with single leg movements as you do double leg movements. Like if you do step ups or Bulgarian split squats, you'll gain just as much squat strength as the squat group, as the group that did squats. Now, that's research. What about the real world? There are anecdotes. This old school Olympic lifter, maybe you remember his name, who just did step ups and he never saw a drop in performance. He stopped squatting. But I've done this with like 3 of my clients where they were just hurting all the time, and I'm like, stop squatting. Let's just hammer Smith machine reverse lunges, high step ups, dumbbell Bulgarian split squats. They built their squat. Their squat went up. So I know, I've seen it with several of my clients. Now, I won't tell the top powerlifter in the world that squats 1,200 pounds. Oh, you could maintain your squat strength doing Bulgarians. We're talking about the rest of I don't like when they use that, because that's a specific, these guys,
Yeah.
it's so specific. They're how they have their, how hard they wrap their knees, their belt, the psychological, also the walkout. They're so strong. We don't base our program on the strongest people in the world. You do it on the masses and athletes in general. And then now the single leg, after the dumbbell and single leg month, they're feeling good. It's the hardest month. Single leg training is brutal. Dumbbell training sucks. It's the hardest month. But then what that teaches them is the next month is back around a well-rounded program. They're going, wow, I maintain my squat strength. I maintain my deadlift strength, and I didn't even squat and deadlift. It's good for people to know that, because you and I both know how we're meatheads. You want to squat and deadlift. You don't want to take a week off. You don't want to, it's torture for us, because we want to grab the bar and put a heavy bar on our back. But sometimes you can't always do that. If you get injured, if you have something, you have to, half of your gains come from what's up here, and knowing when to work around something, and knowing to pull back. So
Right,
that's my system, and that's how I train my competitors, and I individualize it for different people. But
Sure.
they get very strong at chin-ups, they get very strong at military press, they get strong at bench press. I train them for full body strength. But yes, we're doing 4 glute exercises a day, and 3 times a week, and then I might sprinkle in some like band workouts. And by the way, those band workouts that people bash, I'm like, yeah, I do these band workouts. I dread them more than heavy work. They burn like crazy. They're hard. And I do believe they're additive. I'll do my little kickbacks and lateral band walks and stuff.
Yeah.
I throw in a couple of those a week, and then voila, my girls crush it, because I'm pushing progressive overload. We're training harder than the rest. We're training harder than the other girls. They don't understand. My girls have nice glutes. The average hip thrust strength in here, you see these girls in the background, out of like 25 women, the average hip thrust strength is 550 pounds
Yeah.
for their one max. But I've got 6 girls that can do 600 pounds. I've got one that can do 700 and one that did 800. We're the strongest all-female gym in the world, all natural, all-female gym in the world. And, so when a girl hip thrusts 315 pounds, she's really proud of herself. You come in here, they're hitting that for 20 reps. And I always